Alright, hello everyone, my name is Shep, welcome back to the Butcher's Circus. Today we are going to be playing against Serge the Crème, and we are going to be playing with the Halo comp. I haven't tried it out in a while, but since we are doing slightly more competitive matches, and since this is going to be the first of potentially 3 matches, you know, the best of 3, I just decided to, bring the generalist approach and see what my opponent is up to. And it looks like they're up to something quite interesting. So there's a Flagellant, there's an Abomination, Jester, and an Arbalest, but without Mark Synergy. Yeah, this team kind of feels like it's all over the place. Also, the Flagellant has Reclaim, but not Redeemed. That is really interesting, but still has that Reign of Sorrows for offense. So he decided to go for a Battle Ballad first. I'm just gonna punish him by going for a stun on that Abomination. I have a feeling he's gonna flare. I feel like this is somewhat of a defensive Arbalest. Yeah, the immediate flare. I just knew it. I just knew what was coming. Well, in response to that, there's a couple of things I could do. One of them is actually go for a pull on that Jester. I feel like that's not that bad of an idea, come to think of it. Another thing I could do is just ignore this idea I've just had right now and instead just drop a Harvest first to start doing some bleed on that Abomination. There's definitely a lot of things I can do here. I'm just gonna... Actually, you know what? I'm gonna need that Battle Ballad if I want to kill that Jester eventually. And before he slams me to position 4, I'm just gonna drop the Ballad and I'll be able to hit that Jester further down the line. I feel like that's gonna be quite important for us. He's probably gonna go for a transform and then a slam on the Bounty Hunter, right? No, on the Crusader actually. Interesting choice, interesting choice. Does get that slam. I feel like going for a slam on the Bounty Hunter is a bit more important because even though the Crusader is stunning, Oil Lance is arguably just as good as a move, and if it gets a crit, it's... oh man, it's devastating. And the Bounty Hunter is still in position 1 here, where he can overall just have a good time, you know, he's safely gonna be using those finish hims. I could go for a mark right now. That's probably what I'm gonna do. I didn't go first, so, I mean, I guess that happens. I'm gonna go for a pull. It's only a 45% chance of getting it. It would have been really good if it happened. Unfortunately, it didn't. But, oh well, what can he do? He's gonna go for a claim on that Arbalest. Interesting stuff. I guess what that means is, I'm gonna play this a little bit suspiciously. I'm not gonna go for a shot on that Arbalest because, considering he has Reclaim on him, this isn't too good of an idea for me. But there's no direct heal from that Arbalest. That is so weird. Well, I'm gonna go for something a little weird because I feel like there's something wrong with his team. Oh no, there is! What the hell is wrong with me? How could I not see the bandage? That's so weird. Okay, I was looking over at his abilities. I don't know, they're just set up weird. I mean, they're almost set up identically to mine. I couldn't see that battlefield bandage. Okay, he does have a healer. Now he went for... okay, he went for that on my Jester. Alright, alright. The thing is... okay, my Crusader is now in position 2. So I can do position 2 things. I'm thinking of going for a bowler here. That's not that good of an idea. That's potentially not that good of an idea. I'm gonna go for a sniper shot. It's probably gonna do 8 damage, right? Yeah, there we go. So after that sniper shot, he's probably gonna go for a heal with the bandage. I mean, he has to go for a heal with the bandage. And after that, we're gonna drop a Dirk Zap. Hopefully he doesn't heal for much. Okay, 8 is an average roll. And right now, if we roll for 6 to 11, right? If we roll for enough, that Chester might just be dead. Yeah, that's gonna be a Dirk Stab on the Chester. He's at death's door. Which means that right now, I mean, he went for a claim on the wrong character, essentially. I mean, he did go for a claim on the character that I marked, so it was a good play. I'm gonna have to disagree with that move, going for the immediate Reign of Sorrows, because that means he just lost the Harvest. You know, he could have used the Harvest and potentially, you know, gotten one more move off, but since he decided to go for that Reign of Sorrows immediately instead, what's gonna happen is, you know, the Jester isn't gonna get his turn. That's essentially what's gonna happen. I could play it a little bit risky and go for a stun on the Flagellant, but I don't feel like I have to. I feel like stunning the Abomination is just fine here, because if he decides to go for a flare, he's using up 1 action of his 3, while I'm using up 1 action of my 4. And if he does go for a flare, I just stun the Abomination again, and I'm doing way more damage than he is. The reason I would have wanted to go for a stun on the Flag was because he is in kind of a dangerous position. Yeah, he is in a relatively dangerous position. If I had gotten a stun off, he would be unable to go Exsanguinate or anything of the likes. He does have Crown of Thorns, so he's taking kind of unreal amounts of damage right now. I can't go for another stun immediately, that's for sure. You know what I'm gonna go for, actually? Yeah, I have an idea. I'm gonna kill that Flagellant this round. I'm gonna go for a Dirk Stab, and after that I'm gonna go for a Holy Lance, and the Holy Lance is probably gonna do enough damage. And even if it doesn't, the Sniper Shot will. Okay, he's gonna drop a Flare though. He is gonna drop a Flare, but I feel like that's not gonna save him. Yeah, that is most definitely not gonna save him. That's 15 to 23! We roll for 16. Okay, that's quite unlucky if you ask me. Still, he's gonna have a pretty hard time trying to save his Flagellant. If he wants to save that Flagellant, he has to get a stun on my Bounty Hunter. Oh, I feel like that's unnecessary. He went for a stun on my Crusader, which is good for him, but that's not gonna save his Flagellant. Once that Flagellant is gone, it's gonna be all over for you. But yeah, that's a crit 29. I mean, Crown of Thorns just makes you take so much damage. It gives you a lot of accuracy, that's true, but it also makes you take a lot of punishment. We fortunately don't fail the 95% death load chance. I have seen that happen before. It's always a tragedy. And now we have a 2-character advantage, and we still have Finale, and we also have Battle Ballad up. He's gonna go for his own Sniper Shot. Does a really decent amount of damage, but that's just gonna be the first match going on for us. So let's keep on pushing and let's assert some more dominance for the second one. And here we go, on to match number 2, and we're gonna be bringing not my favorite team per se, but the team I have actually named. It's Shep Stress. It's gonna be a Stress team using the typical Houndmaster Man-at-Arms combo, as well as the Abomination, but with a Flagellant in first. The thing is, nowadays seeing a Flagellant everywhere is kind of usual, but back in the day, in the early months of the Butcher Circus, you would not see Flagellants anywhere, and if you did, it was in DOT teams. And, you know, pairing it with a Stress team at the time was so unusual. No one did it at that time. Now it's pretty much widespread. It feels like almost every team has a Flagellant. But yeah, it was kind of a concept I played in a tournament really early in the early months of the Butcher Circus, though I kind of didn't know what I was doing all that well, so I couldn't really harness the full potential of having a Flagellant in position 1 in a Stress team. But later on, like about a year and a half later, I decided to just revisit this team and see just how well it was doing exactly. Now, going through what my opponent is playing, well, it feels like it's definitely a Stress team, and it's definitely an interesting one. I'm gonna go for a Slam-Attack Crusader, even though he's still gonna be able to do a lot of damage with Holy Lance, potentially, because, you know, especially on my Abomination with that 0 prot, even though he's likely still just gonna get a Holy Lance to do a lot of damage. Holy Lance is better than a Zealous right now, because Zealous would really hurt me in terms of stress as well, so I'd rather just get that Crusader out of here. He's gonna drop a Houndsary, no crits fortunately, but he does manage to hit everyone. I do not have a lot of dodge, and he does not have a lot of accuracy. I decided to go for the command first instead of the bolster, because I do need this accuracy. We do still get 3 hits, which I'm fine with. No crits unfortunately, even with a pretty high crit chance, but I guess it could have been worse. It could have been worse. Getting 3 hits is fine. It's more than fine. He's gonna drop a Shadow Fade, kind of an early Shadow Fade here, to be honest. I do have the plus 20 accuracy. My hit chances are still bad, 50-50 on both, and we just fail it. Obviously, going for a bleed on the Crusader like a punish here is just silly. Going for a punish on the Man-at-Arms with all that bleed res is also silly. Oh, that is lucky. Oh, that is lucky. Yeah, getting that Train of Sorrows resist wasn't too lucky, but resisting that stun was very lucky. He has 95% stun chance, but keep in mind, a funny thing about the Abomination is that he has 25% stun res instead of the Crusader's 20, so he always has that 5% stun resistance chance if the enemy Crusader only has a Sacred Blade, and of course I'm gonna punish him for it. I'm gonna detransform, I'm gonna go for a Beast Pile, I'm gonna apply a bunch of Blight, a bunch of Stress, and if he tries hitting into my Abomination now, which he very likely will, he's gonna eat even more Blight from it. He's probably gonna drop another Stunning Blow so he can keep spamming Hanseri. Though I feel like Serge here might be thinking of going guard dog to get that minus stress taken buff. I feel like that's gonna be his play. I'm not too sure about it, but that's what I feel like is gonna happen here. I'm gonna use a bolster because he does have some accuracy buffs, but the minus stress is still gonna help me a very considerable amount. Even though I would also like another command, I'm gonna take the minus. Oh, I'm gonna take the minus stress for right now. That was a crit panic darts for 15? How do you crit panic darts for 15? That is wild. Crit 15 panic darts. That is totally insane. Okay, we're gonna respond with... wow, my dog is already almost dead. We're gonna respond with the Houndsary. Well, what goes around comes around. We get those crits as well. 24 stress on that Grave Robber. Really good. Really good Houndsary coming down. So the difference in this kind of matchup is that, well, we're obviously both playing stress teams, but I'm playing something definitely more traditional, having the Man at Arms and the Abomination. You know, the Abomination is like the paradigm of stress teams. A stress team without an Abomination feels very weird because you don't get the horror from the transformations and you don't get all the cool stuff that the A-Bomb has. But to make up for it, he has two very high dodge characters, but when there's a command in play, you can deal with these dodge characters. So this is why I like Chef's Stress just so goddamn much. It has tools to deal with just about anything. It's gonna have a hard time against things that just do way too much damage directly, like Mark teams, because, you know, we don't have a lot of protection, but even then, its stress and bleed and blight output is insane. The Surf and Turf potential on this team is wild, between the Rain of Sorrows from the Flagellant and the Blights from the Abomination, though typically you wouldn't see me running... back in the day, you wouldn't see me running Rain of Sorrows, you'd see me running Reclaim instead, which is going to give you a bit of a better matchup against the Mark teams. However, I feel like Reclaim isn't all that good in every other situation, because having a Rain of Sorrows for this kind of matchup is so unbelievably better than having a Punish, especially considering we have the Crimson Hook Trinket. This is giving us plus bleed chance, it's giving us plus crit chance, it's giving us a whole bunch of stress versus bleeding characters. Just look at the amount of pain we've managed to inflict on that Grave Robber and that doggy. And we're gonna go for it again. We're gonna go for it until we get those afflictions going and until we get them out of here. So that's gonna be even more crits. You know, we have two command buffs stacked, we have a lot of accuracy, we have a lot of crit chance, and they are just taking massive blow after blow. And you combine that with the Houndsary, you combine that with the Man at Arms just being an overall kind of tanky character and being able to boost the team's defense and offense, you just have a perfect team here. Well, maybe not perfect, but about as perfect as you can achieve, honestly. In terms of stress teams, it does have some pretty big downsides. You know, when there's riposte on the enemy team, that is definitely going to be bad in terms of this Houndsary not being all that useful. But even then, just look at the stress output; it's insane. Even if I'm meeting riposte for it, I'm probably still going to get the afflictions through, and then I'm going to have a good time. Because not only does this team have a really good stress output, as well as a really good defense and really good tools to counter the dodge and the protection that my opponents might have, it also has an amazing late game, having this Flagellant with Conduit of Absolution, and you know, these two characters still have pretty good damage and stress outputs. Though, to be fair, if I had the Reclaim, I would be able to keep these characters alive a little bit longer, but since I don't have the option to go Reclaim, now what's gonna happen is this Abomination and this doggy are gonna die a little bit earlier than you'd want, so not all is one. Not all is one, let's be totally clear here. Absolutely not all is one. I'm thinking two things. First, Hopeless has a chance of refusing heals, so I'm gonna be a little bit greedy. I'm gonna go for a transformation, I'm gonna slam the Crusader to the back for two reasons. First, I don't want him to get more Zealots off, because my Flagellant wants to take the least amount of pain as possible. What, Shepard, you're playing a Flagellant, he likes pain. Well, that is true, but each Zealous that gets applied is more damage being done to my Flagellant, and keep in mind that the only way he has to kill my Flag is either through Panic Darts or through Zealous. because the Man-at-Arms can't do it with Bellows, and the doggy is gonna have a really hard time doing it with Hound Sari and stuns, especially stuns. The doggy's stun at the end of the game against the Flagellant is just gonna heal his stress because of Cult of Absolution, and it's gonna do ridicule amounts of damage. Now I am thinking of going for a heal with the Redeem on this Abomination, but that would be unnecessary since he already used 2 transformations. So instead, I'm gonna go for a Hound Sari before my doggy dies. We only hit 1 character, but even though we're not getting death blows, we don't really mind all that much, since we're getting the stress applied. The Crusader goes Virtuous, so I'm not even gonna complain about it, because I've been quite lucky. Resisting that stun with the Abomination was a godsend, so I'm not even gonna complain about him going Vigorous. Not to mention that Vigorous isn't really the best virtue to get. Why does he have 17 dodge, though? What? Does Vigorous give 2 dodge? And I did not know about that. You've gotta be kidding me. Vigorous gives 2 dodge. Well, he has 5 base, right? Plus 10 from the bolster. And I'm guessing Vigorous is giving him 2 dodge. Okay, that is totally wild. I have never seen that before in my life. Well, I guess there's I guess you learn something new every day. Yeah. Wow, Vigorous is giving him 2 dodge. Oh, that is insane. That is totally insane. Okay, I'm thinking 2 things. I'm thinking I want to keep going aggressive, but you know what? Let's keep going aggressive. Let's go for a guard here. I feel like a Bellow isn't really gonna help me all that much, so I'm gonna go for a guard, which is gonna give my doggy a lot of protection. It's also gonna make no Panic Darts come his way, no Holy Lances come his way, and my Flagellant can keep using that Rain of Sorrows, and with another Rain of Sorrows, the doggy might as well be dead, and the doggy at this store, a hopeless doggy at this store, probably doesn't do enough damage to my Houndmaster. Not to mention he'll probably miss anyway. I have 45 dodge because of this Monkey Spot. He goes for Defender on the Grave Robber. I feel like he's trying to somehow copy my strategy, but I'm not too sure if it's gonna work as well, honestly. Because we only have 1 command buff, unfortunately we don't get a hit on that Houndmaster, which is really sad. We do get the hit on the Crusader, which the bleed applied is gonna be insignificant. Wait, how did we even get the bleed with all that bleed? That's insane. Yeah, the bleed applied is gonna be a little bit unnecessary, but he heals himself actually. Drops me to that store, okay. Okay, interesting moves, I like what I'm seeing here. But yeah, quite surprising what's going on. Well, I definitely have to go for a heal with the Flagellant now, and I can either go for Redeem or I can go for an Exsanguinate. I do have 1 command buff, as well as the accuracy from being at the store, so I'm not gonna miss this Exsanguinate on the Man-at-Arms. But do I want to go Exsanguinate on the Man-at-Arms? You know what? Not really. Let's just drop a Redeem. Let's heal ourselves for a decent amount. I don't feel like dropping an Exsanguinate on the Man-at-Arms would really do all that much for me. I want to keep the Exsanguinates until the end of the match, and I want this doggy to stay alive as long as possible. I do still have 1 command buff, right? So I can go ahead and go Hound Sari. I feel like my opponent is doing kind of a mistake here. That Liquence is not gonna save him. It is 100% not gonna save that Houndmaster. Now we do have 1 command buff. Do we want to get another one is the question. Do we want to get another command buff? Now we have 1 command buff on each character. I'd rather go 1 Harry, 1 Bellow. Honestly, I feel like that would be better here. We just have to hope that we don't miss all that much. Yeah, and we miss a 90% on the Crusader. I should have gone for double command. Oh, I knew I should have gone for double command. Cool. Well, I guess we're gonna go Bellow now, and then we might have to guard again, but at that point I'm probably just gonna let go of the guard. I'm gonna have to say he's gonna go Panic Darts on my Man-at-Arms. The Man-at-Arms is taking 15 stress, by the way. That is insane. Yeah, considering that we have Numbing Instance and Pitfighter's Helm, and the Man-at-Arms is tanky in terms of protection, is tanky in terms of stun resistance, and is tanky in terms of anti-stress. So he has the tool for just about any job, except DOT teams. Blights and Bleeds are just gonna eat through his armor and are gonna be absolutely devastating. But by that time he's supposed to have done what matters. He's supposed to have dropped a bolster, a command, and just overall let the team beat the Bleeds Blights on their own, essentially. So even though my opponent has a character advantage here, and he does have 1 virtue, he is on the breaking point here, because that Houndmaster is almost dead. Not quite, there's not enough horror being stacked. But he has 4 afflictions, which is a lot more than I do. I only have 1. And not only that, he's gonna have to deal with this flagellant. And the flagellant still has 3 exsanguinates and 1 redeem. So he's gonna have a really hard time dealing with all that. Goes for a rally to the flame on the grave robber, she says no. So goes for a rally to the flame on the Houndmaster, gets the absolute max roll. Okay, man, okay. I see how it is. We're probably gonna let go of that card now, right? If we let go of that card, there's gonna be panic darts coming our way. Yeah, there's gonna be panic darts coming our way, and those would hurt. Those would really hurt. He doesn't have accuracy though. His accuracy right now is like a 50-50. I feel like we have to go command here. I would be a fool if I didn't go command. My hit chances are garbage without it. Yeah, that's kind of a downside, because command isn't a permanent buff. It only lasts for 3 rounds, even though it gives a lot of accuracy and crit. It's really good, but it's not like battle ballad. You know, you just use it once and you have accuracy for the rest of the battle. It's like a 3-round subscription to a service. Yeah, immediately goes for that panic darts. He's not using the command. He has to know. I have Monkey Spy, I have a lot of dodge, I have Bolster. Grave Robber's Panic Darts only has an accuracy base of 95. It misses a lot more than you'd think. We do still manage to hit 3 characters, so that's good. It's good for us. That doggy is gonna have a heart attack. I mean, we missed the Grave Robber, which isn't what I want. I want to kill that Grave Robber as quickly as possible. Well, I guess she was gonna refuse that anyway, so who cares? Right now, oh, this might just be a dead Crusader. The crit might help do some stress onto him as well. Yeah, that Crusader is dead. From the horror and falling to death's door, the Crusader is gone. Unless he goes for a guard dog with the Houndmaster to make the Crusader take less stress. That's the only chance he has of surviving. Oh crap, he didn't take enough. Yeah, there's the Bolster buff, he didn't take enough stress. Ooh, decides to go for a Holy Lance. He's going risky, he wants to get the kills. If he kills my Houndmaster right now with a Hound... Oh no. Oh, that's just unlucky. That's just unlucky. Oh, they're falling like dominoes, and that's gonna be GG. He almost took the match, but that one act-out bark did enough stress for the Crusader to die, and that's gonna be all she wrote for Mr. Serge. So anyway, still 2 really good matches, and I hope y'all enjoyed it, and I'll see you again another time. Cheers.